Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Thursday, November 5th. So we are going live on YouTube talking about Bitcoin and GBTC today, as well as we're going to look at Ethereum too. So let me just tweet that out. Go back here. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Let me pull up the chat on the other computer. Always takes a second to get everything up and running. And let's set this up. And there we go. I've got the chat up and running on the other computer. Welcome to you guys. I hope you're having an amazing day. A lot of great opportunities. If you watched me yesterday on Ticker Talkers Roundtable, I said, hey, I think we are going to see Amazon ripping to new highs. Sure enough, we did. Well, not new highs, but it was up at 33.60 today. Hey, John, 2 Johns today. Lots of Johns in the house. All right. So we will get the charts up right here, and we're going to look at everything. An amazing day in the market as if you were positioned properly. I see, I just have to adjust that. All right. Hey, Mark, welcome, welcome. So we've got Bitcoin up. We've got the dollar up. A lot of things going on with stimulus potentially affecting the price of the dollar potentially in the future, and also potentially affecting Bitcoin, right? We have so many retailers. Yeah, we'll add Tupperware and we will add Salesforce, no problem. Just waiting for it all to load. Let me go up over here and close this one. All right, so let's pull up Bitcoin and the US dollar. This is huge right now. Bitcoin is now breaking above 15,000 today. 15,190. Now it tends to trade, earlier I was looking at it, tends to trade, they had it on the automatic scale and it was showing $200 increments. Now they've changed it down to $50 increments. This is the hike and ashy over here, candlesticks, with the trend to the upside is white, inside candles are yellow, and the darker gray are the pullback candles. So right now, this is just following, that's the 5-minute chart. Now, earlier I was having a problem with my charts not corresponding, so that my left chart was lagging a little bit. I don't know if they have fixed that. Yeah, see, look, it's lagging for sure. It's showing 14,705 over here. I got to reach out to TradingView on that. So our daily chart, all right, 1530, let's put it, I'm just going to use the one on the right because the dual charts are not functioning properly today. So we've got the volume session profile right here, and it is moving to the upside. Oh, SQQ is moving to the upside. I had an alert there because it feels, oh, XLK is moving down. All right, I'm liking all this. Everything is working out in my favor at the moment. All right, so I do have some positions open that we might have to move. Let's also see VXX is moving to the upside right now. All right, up above, let's hide some of these camarillas and the pivots, and we will hide all of that good stuff. All right, so VXX, look at how we've been riding this 20 simple moving average down. The higher highs right here, maybe we will see this come up and test up here at 2430. There's a potential for the move of the indexes, everything to pull back. That would be completely normal, right? We had 3 rock star days on the market coming down from 323 all the way up here to 352. Who knew we were going to gain 19 points before the market? Well, we saw it in seasonality. After that major run up, we tend to have a pullback. Let me see if I can pull up that chart for the seasonality to show you guys over here. Let me get to that folder. And we will look at it. We tend to pull back, which is not surprising, right? We've had a big surge, 3 great days to the upside, also on the Qs as well. So let me just find that seasonality. I've got so many charts here. Here we go. And right, here it is, coming up over here. Dun, 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 dun. Right, we tend to have that run up and then we pull back maybe a third of the way, right? So if we look at that, if we pull back to 336.76, would not be abnormal, right? So let's look at the Qs. Hey, maybe we're going to come back down to over here, 278, before we continue to the upside. Amazon as well, I said, hey, if you guys, I mentioned it yesterday on the roundtable. I hope you guys capitalized on that and you were able to lock some profits. You can see right here, I have a Fibonacci as if we are going to potentially be pulling back. Now, if we have a third of a pullback roughly down here, I don't think we're going to pull all the way back down further to 3110. I think potential target more like the 425 on my 45-minute chart, potentially down to 3188. Did take some profit on Amazon this morning up here when it was hitting $3,360 was where I took my profit, getting in down here. Now, this looks like it could have that normal pullback, which is totally rational, right? We've had crazy surge up in the market and now we're pulling back. So will we hit that 3167? That's also where I see it potentially over here. You see how it runs up off of that, right? This was a further pullback after earnings. However, right here we had some dark pool activity. If we break above 3250, more move to the upside. Sure enough, we had a surge up. However, now we have a bit of an abandoned baby here. Will we close the gap down? They brought it down almost to the top of this candlestick here. The high here was 32.91. Our low was 32.88 today. So they closed the gap to the wick on this candlestick right here. Will it continue further to the downside? Let's look at the Qs as well on the daily chart. So we have a couple, let me hide the indicators really quickly. Remove indicators, and you'll see we have a couple gaps to be filled on the Qs right here, right? We have a big gap day here and we have a big gap day here. Will we have that gap fill today? Well, this is pretty extreme movement, right? If we look at this, if we measure, this was a move down, that was 9%. We've almost regained that 9% in 3 trading days. So if we have a pullback from here down, that's roughly 1%. That would be healthy. That's not going to be a correction. Could be just a potential move to enter. And we've had this massive move to the upside, so that would not be abnormal. Potentially like this to the gap fill up here, up to the $20 mark, round dollar mark for the SQQ. VIX, again, we're looking at this. We might see that it will come back up and close the gap up here. Let's look more at the list. So XPEV was on watch. We had this crazy breakout, major gap days, surging up here, had some XPEV, trimmed some profit today. We do have earnings coming out. I don't want to hold this through earnings. So potentially, I will wait and see, hey, maybe it's going to come back to the high over here, 25.17, and pull back from there. QCOM as well. Earnings, a bit of a doji day right now. We have this potential gap to the downside. However, many times when we move to the upside, we will go up for 3 days. Then they'll come back, do the gap fake out, and continue to take it higher. Upwork as well. Amazing move today off of Upwork. I'm going to delete that because I'm not using that. And nice move right off of my watch list, $26.50 all the way up to $30.95. $4.45. Again, if you guys want to, well, thank you still, C1. If you guys want to try out my watch list, it is on sale through November 8th. Just go to cjanetrade.com and then you'll go to the store and put in vote 2020 for the promo code. It's taking a while to load because I've got a lot running on my computer. So you just go to shop, and then it will load right here. Select it. You have the option for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. And when you check out, just use vote 2020 to receive 35% off. You guys chose that on Monday as the promo code and the percentage. So honoring you guys, honoring the YouTube followers. ACB today was also on my list. Hey, if we can break above 620, I like it. We are above this W area right here. Let's turn on the volume. Let's see if we have a volume surge as we are breaking above. Yep, we have a volume surge breaking above as we're moving above here, but would need to really break above 620 for me. We have it hitting the resistance and it just broken above for this candlestick just before the earnings that happened 2 earnings seasons ago. So not the most recent, but the one before. And what's interesting is where's the earnings? May, June, July, August, September. And now we have another one? That's kind of interesting that we have 2 earnings right here. I don't know. It seems really close. September and then November. Did they report earnings? Surprise, -12. And this is supposed to be November 9th. It's kind of close together. I guess that's in relation to COVID. Right? So we are breaking above this midline right here of that W. I would like this more above 620. We do have the earnings coming up on the 9th. So that is next Monday. This could be a run up into next Monday. This earnings season, however, look at this. Earnings seasons pull back here, and then we had a surge up in February, pull back, surge up right at earnings. So for this one, might be better in my opinion to wait until that day of earnings. You might miss a little bit, but I think I would rather wait on that one. Li, one of the other electric car makers in China, if you guys have not already. Oh yeah, Austin, I do. In fact, I have a video as well, Austin, on my watch list. When you go and you look at the watch list in the shop, there's also a video of how to use my watch list. So I do update it every day. I create it every single day from the stocks that are volatile that morning. And I give you, let's see if I can pull it right over here. Actually, I'll show you exactly what it is. So this is what it looks like. If it wants to come over here. So this is what it looks like. I've got today's date. I have the SPY and the Qs. If there are some people that like to trade options on the SPY and the Qs, so those are the price levels that I'm really watching. Hey, if it goes above 350, then there's a potential move to the long side for the SPY. Well, we went above 350.80 today. Yes, there was a nice trade up $1.40 above that. Qs below 293. Hey, look, we're below 293. Potential short trade right now. We are below that level to break down below. And as I mentioned it would be abnormal for us to come down. Maybe it will stop right here at 291.80. We came 20 cents shy. Maybe potential next target would be 290.40 over here, which was acting as resistance as well for this candlestick. Maybe that's our next move down below, $1.60. Big ultimate target would be filling the gap down here, 288.60, that $5 potential move. So yeah, I do break it down. Now I don't do a full-on video every single day. I give you this and I also give you screenshots where you can see the charts and you'll see it on the daily. I don't give you daily in 5 minutes, just the daily. But you're able to see, and if it's bold like this, hey, that means that there's earnings today. So if you're trading options, be wary of the premium decay. If you see Monster, this is after the hours today, so it's in italics. This is going to have earnings coming up, but it has not had the earnings announcement, so be careful there. If there is a stock that is less than 20 million, lower float momentum, it will be in bold. So I appreciate you asking, Austin, and I do break it all down for you. All right, so gold and silver moving to the upside today, also big to watch. XPEV, we already did that. Baba has just been pummeled. They had a big bearish candlestick. Let's look at it on the 24-hour. It looks pretty nasty, in fact. See, look at that. Whoa, big drawdown, big drawdown. Now, it seems as if every time we hit this 285 mark, we're seeing that we have buying power coming in. So let's look at it on the 45-minute chart and see if we see volume there as well. So 285 roughly right here, that was support just before earnings, and over here as well, just before just with earnings. So potentially 285 would be a nice area to use as a breakdown. We're setting higher lows right now. If it could take out 288.50, likely it'd run up here to 309 for that potential trend test on the daily chart. All right, LFC, Chinese company. Check out the China hustle. I'm not a fan of Chinese companies. This one really trades erratically too. Likely trades on a Chinese market. That's why there's so many gaps. Anytime you see a chart that has lots of gaps like this, be careful. Average volume here is also only 442,000, so would use this more as a day trade, not a swing trade. JD. So JD has earnings coming up, and sure enough, gapped and filled the gap to the downside today. We also have Monster earnings coming up tonight. They gapped it up. Look at how every time that we hit this resistance level over here, let's move this one up. It rejects it, right? So in the past, it keeps rejecting it. So this is a fairly strong resistance level. We had high volume. This moved up off of 76. And when we look at it, let's do this. So we've got our trend line up here, right? We had some volume come into it yesterday, likely breaking that trend line. Oh, thank you, Michael. Yeah, it's fun to do the daily fives. I also had Amazon there. So we have a bit of a downward wedge. Will we come back and break back down into this for Monster Beverage and see it come back down to that 76.23 area? Right now it's in a bit of a downward wedge. We've broken from this resistance. It broke out. However, this could be a false breakout just before earnings today. And Uber as well. So Uber had earnings, big move up. We have long-legged day here. And today, if we can take out the high, 42.15, likely a potential surge higher. All those shorts that got in yesterday that brought it down, guess what? They're feeling the pain. Oh no. It might test that 42 level. You can see 41.90 came 10 cents shy, but we don't have anywhere near the volume that we had yesterday on our earnings day. All right, let's look at Tupperware for Mark. So Tupperware, looks like we got a little bit of a flag going on here. We have all this selling, right? If this could potentially close higher than here, than the downward trend, then we might see this continue to the upside. However, it doesn't have big volume to break out. If the market is pulling back too, now the SPY is down below as well, and it's starting to pull back. Hey, if we break below that 347.80, let's set an alert right here, 348.50 alert. Crossing down. That's going to be an area to watch as well. And so, I'm sorry, we were on Tupperware. When the market all starts to somewhat correct and pull back a little bit, it's harder to get into the long. So for Tupperware, yes, this has broken the trend right here. And let's do a quick Fibonacci level here. Yeah, it might be good to the long side for target up to 36.20 if we can hold the volume. So I would use the trend line here as my potential get out point, 30.20. Yeah, we'll check those out. Everything's monetizable. All right, and let's look at CRM. So CRM, we've gapped up above, right? We gapped up above the downward trend, but let's put this up here. We haven't broken out up here yet. And I'm going to bring it to the high up here. So, much like the market, this might retrace back down towards these candlesticks. You can see how this area really was resistance to in the past. And much like Apple, everything, I think we might see more of a retracement pullback. Let's look at XLK. That's really the communications area too. And XLK, I've got a couple fibs on here. It's pulling back a little bit too. If we were to really break below 120, I think we'll see a big move down in the technology sector. Now, XLK Holdings. Whoops. If we go here and we look at them, has the top holdings for it. Dun, dun, dun. All right, let's go down here. So XLK, the thing that sort of got me weary too is that we are setting lower highs on the market on our daily chart. So we have Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Visa, Mastercard. If Apple pulls back, this could be a cheaper way to trade it. Intel as well, Cisco, Adobe. So let's look at Apple, right? Apple is still up on the day, but we're red from open, right? Microsoft, let's check out Microsoft. We gapped up and we're little green on the day right here, right? But very quickly we could turn red on the day. We've got Nvidia already going for that potential gap filled to the downside for Nvidia. Visa, yep, they're all looking roughly the same. Mastercard, a lot of stocks right now. Mastercard's the only one that's looking like it's potentially holding right here. We have this support area and we're holding above that support area. You see the M there, then it gapped up, dropped down. New support area 36.54, then 37.35. And we are not able to break above 38.25 over here. So I know that there was a narrow range right here, and then it shot up, came down, and back to it. Now potentially we have the dividend as well for XLK. All right, for in Mastercard. Let's check out, did we look at CRM? Yeah, CRM looks a lot like the technology sector to me. A lot of stocks have had those big gaps up. We could easily have a retracement day. However, we will see. We still don't know who the winner is, as far as I know, for the presidency. And that uncertainty might come into play now along with seasonality. All right. So let's look at AMC for you, Michael. AMC. Personally, I'm not really a fan of AMC for the fact that, how many people are going to the movie theaters right now? Not many, right? What about these streaming services? All the new movies are coming out on streaming services. And I don't know if you're long this. Over here, yeah, we had this support and resistance sort of channel back here. But this looks like I wouldn't want to get into this. Yeah, it's bouncing off of 211. You could have potential gains if it breaks 260 of 50 cents up. Oh, you're short. Okay. So I would use 260 as my potential get out. If it were to go above there, that's where I would go long, potentially up to 314. Depending on how far up you shorted, I would use roughly that 315 area as my new entry point for a short or my get out, my stop area. All right, let's look at TAP. So TAP, oh, nice. Look at this down here. All right, so we've got this area where it traded in the past, and it just sort of went dun, 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 boom, we broke down below, new support area down here, traded in between there, and now we're back up in this channel. So right up here in this channel, and if this could break above 39.01, I love that. I just naturally drew it to 39.01. We might see that this has a big move to it. What happened last December and November, right? Let's look back at history. Well, last November came up, tested it November 6th, right? And it didn't come back up there again. We had an upside down head and shoulders, and it broke out January 6th. So I would wait for the confirmation. Looking at this in the past, however, prior, this was up above that point. But it would really need to break above 39 for me to the upside. And let's look at Bud. Bud. Do you remember those commercials with the frogs? You guys remember that? I think it was a what was it called? Super Bowl commercial. All right, so Anheuser-Busch. This is also a foreign one. You can tell with all the gaps. So it's just trading sideways to me. We had big volume which day? This day we're above that volume. So potential move to the upside, might find resistance up here around 57.75, and then up above 60 would be that bigger breakout for me. But you see that it's really came down, hit a resistance point right here, 58.46. Then it came up, tested the 60 mark, pulled back down to 52, and it's just really consolidating right here. Let's look back, right? What happened last November? Well, it traded sideways and then down. Okay, OPK. Let's check out OPK. OPK, this is a daily chart that we're looking at. It's not looking that healthy over here. Let's readjust this to our new lows for trend here. And we'll take this one from the past. Looks like it's about to test that resistance line, but we have this potential gap fill here. So it might come up, really run up and test it at $4. And then it might pull back. And if it were to pull back, you know, roughly that 380, if we could see 380 hold as support, again, it was resistance over here on the left as well. All right, PM, Philip Morris, baby. Who's smoking cigarettes? Not me. All right, Philip Morris. Let's pull it down here. You can see this was a resistance on the left, flipped now to be a support area, and it was resistance here as well. Sell, sell, sell. Oh, no, time to buy, buy. All right, and over here on the left as well. More resistance. Yep, still acting as a resistance again. Next potential level up from there, 75.25 area. So if it could break 73, potentially up to 75.25. If it breaks down below 70, down here to 69.30 for the potential move to the downside. Let's look at MO. Altria. So Altria is pulling back today. Let's see over here. And let's do this too. Let's draw a little trend line here. Yeah, it looks like it's wanting to sell off more. It looks like yesterday was just a fake out. We opened higher and now it's pulling back down. We have a fairly steep recovery right here. So it came down in its bounce, but this is fairly steep, right? The angles there are both fairly steep. So the more shallow the support and more shallow the downward price action, the less volume it will take to break it. All right, good to go, guys. All right, I hope you guys have an amazing afternoon. I've got to run today. I've got to go take care of some errands, but I hope you guys join me this morning for yoga. And Asif, did you have a question? You guys can always email me too. If you have questions, you think of something, shoot me an email at jane@cjanetrade.com. I'm pretty accessible, and I think Asif can attest that I do answer those questions fairly quickly when I get to them. So have an amazing afternoon. I will see you all tomorrow at 12:15. I will also be on Ticker Talker at 1 and going to be joining them as a podcast, I believe. That's something in the works they were talking about yesterday. So it's pretty exciting. You guys will be able to see me more often. And have an amazing afternoon. And look out for my video tomorrow all about cryptocurrencies. All right, have a great day. See you guys tomorrow. Carpe profit. Seize those profits.